So when I was little, I lived with my grandma for a few years. I loved living with my grandma. Her house seemed ginormous at the time, and all my cousins lived up the street, so they'd come over constantly to play with me, all the time. And we had a trampoline, which was my favorite thing. Also caused me the most pain. But not all my memories there were good. My dad is a firefighter, so that often means he'd have to leave early in the morning or late at night for overtime shifts for days at a time. And my grandma would have to watch me, or my mom would have to come pick me up. But I would cry and I'd cry and beg him not to leave every single time because I was scared I'd never see him again. Because I knew how dangerous his job is. Hold on. So ever since I was little, I've been really interested in how firefighting has changed and evolved over the years and what they're doing to make it safer and less problematic. So in my talk, I'm going to be talking about how fires have become more dangerous over the years and what precautions and inventions are being made to make firefighting a more safe and effective thing. You're probably thinking wooden houses have become more fireproof and resistant to fire over the years. You'd be wrong. It's actually quite the opposite. Houses have become 8 times more flammable than ever before. And this is because how we build them has changed and what we build them out of has changed. Well, hold on, I need the mouse for this. Old homes use big, strong lumber and use more nails and gusset plates, which would hold it all together and would take longer for it to burn. But now, they use wood that's lightweight and is cheaper, but it still has the same strength. In a test done by a fire training academy in Swivl, Texas, they put a bunch of cinder blocks on top of both of a solid lumber and lightweight lumber, and they lit a fire underneath. The lightweight lumber that they use today burnt down in only 4 minutes and 30 seconds, while the solid lumber lasted over 28 minutes. It's also how they build. They use lightweight truss construction now, which consists of cords, which is members of wood that are parallel from each other, and they're cross-connected together. And then they use things called gusset plates, which are these metal things that are stamped sheets of metal or plastic with spikes in them that would hold it all together. This works very effectively now to hold up houses, and it's much cheaper, but it's very dangerous when it comes to fires because it burns much quicker, and the plastic in the gusset plates causes it to burn much hotter. So, also what's inside the house causes fires to burn faster. It used to be made out of things like cloth and leather and like hard, sturdy things, but now it uses plastic and more synthetic materials like polyurethane and polyester. These plastic chemicals cause the fires to burn almost 3 times hotter and much, much quicker, which gives the families inside less time to get out and firefighters to get in and save families. It also releases much harmful chemicals into the air, which can cause long-term lasting effects on the families. But not all of it's bad. Technology has also helped us to improve ways that we can prevent fires and cause them to not happen as often. One way is they have smoke detectors, and they recommend having them in every room on every floor. So if smoke does happen, it will give the family an alert and allow them to get out of the house quicker. Firefighters also recommend having automatic sprinkler systems, which can put out a fire in under a minute if it detects it, but it doesn't always work. Firefighters are also coming up with new innovative ways to detect fires and see where they can get in quicker. There's a few fire academies that have actually started using drones to go in first and scan the house and see where the weak points are, so they can put out the fire there first. They're also coming up with new technologies, such as this helmet on the left and the gear. The helmet on the left is a prototype at the moment. It allows them to see through the smoke much easier, and it helps keep most of the smoke out of their lungs and their lungs. They're also coming up with lighter gear so that they don't have to push heavy gear in, and they can move around much more quickly. But fires have become more and more dangerous over the years. Technology and innovation has been the main cause, actually, because we've come up with new, cheaper ways to do it that are still strong, but can cause fires much more dangerous than ever. But technology and innovation is also what can save us from fires and cause them to happen much less. Thank you.